Thank you for staying with us. Every year, tens of thousands of Nigerian youths lose a year or worse, give up their dreams because exam prep is inaccessible, expensive, or ineffective. Tuteriaprep believes they can change this narrative because they believe talent everywhere deserve an equal chance. They are building new model of exam-ready, education-smart, affordable, inclusive, and results-oriented program. Joining us to discuss more on this is award-winning education entrepreneur, winner Future Awards Africa Prize Education, and the founder of Tuteria, Nigeria's leading tech-enabled tutoring and learning platform, Godwin Benson. So welcome to the show, Mr. Benson.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Benson. So thank you so much for being here. We all know, and most of our viewers, and I think almost all of our viewers know about JAMB, and we also understand how stressful exam periods can be. Please, can you enlighten us on what inspired you to, start up a Tuteriaprep?
Yeah, thank you. We're inspired by the failure rate of JAMB and even most exams in general. We see that a lot of students are preparing but not really passing. So from our perspective, we thought that something is wrong with the way that we prepare or that they have prepared historically. And that worried us to say that what can Tuteria do to reverse the trend of exam failure. So JAMB is just one example where, for instance, last year we saw up to 78% of people got below 200. And that's indicative of not just failing the exam, but like what's the hope of Nigeria if many young people are failing. So that's why we wanted to step in.
Yeah, so what would you say is the biggest challenge really for Nigerian students when it comes to exam preparation? And how does tech maybe help in terms of, does tech aggravate the problem or does it alleviate the problem? So what would you say?
So there's a fundamental philosophy about exams. Exams don't test how much you know.
Bam. Exams are not the true test of knowledge.
No, they test how well you can pass the questions you're asked. So the place of tech is to shorten the time it takes to master the questions you will be asked. So there is the idea that if you have an exam coming up in a few months, how quickly can you discover what you will be asked and prepare better on those areas? And that will improve your score dramatically. So that's the principle around Tuteriaprep.
Yeah. So I like the fact that you reminded us of last year with the mass failure. And I would like to ask, why do you think there's mass failure, even with improvements in education? Because we can see that the government is doing a lot to see how they can improve the quality of education for the students.
Yeah, I think there are several reasons. We did a survey last year just to ask people, why didn't you do well in JAMB, right? And the most important thing we found out was that many students underestimate the amount of preparation required for the exam. For instance, if you ask them, they had only done maybe 1 or 2 past questions, they've attended classes, maybe tutorial centers here and there, or maybe they've done a few prep on some apps. But the amount of preparation is really low. I mean, if you cast your mind back to how you prepared for exams, yeah, you probably did a lot more.
Years ahead,
yeah, and even our parents, they're used to that rigor that is required for exam prep. But we seem to have lost that. And then people just do 1 or 2 and think that will be enough. So that's one of the biggest reasons. Of course, with CBT, there was also the unfamiliar nature of taking exams online. They were used to paper. So that affected people as well. And then, of course, the quality of teaching is one thing that has affected them as well. So we looked at, you can't do so well if you're not taught well. So some of these things are some of the factors that have affected the mass.
So one of the things I see people do is private tutors. They pay for private tutors, but we know that private tutoring is expensive. Would you say Tuteria is an affordable alternative? And then also, how would you ensure quality?
Yeah, great question. Tutoring is great. Tutoring works, but like you said, it is expensive. And some of the very best teachers, there are not that many to go around when you think about the number of students who need help. Tuteriaprep is a different approach to offering help. it's like a mass market type product where you have one extremely good teacher support a large number of children. And it's affordable. It's 35K that we charge for 3 months of prep. So from the first week in January all the way to JAMB, 35K. So that's less than 15K per month. So for most families, yes, they can afford that. Then in terms of quality, so like I said before, that exams don't really test knowledge. What they test is the questions you'll be asked, how well have you mastered them? So our platform has been built for mastery, where we've taken the last 20 years of JAMB past question, digitized it, and then we can start to predict what the next JAMB question would be, which means when you take our Tuteriaprep, the questions that we train you on are questions that are likely to come out in the exam, because coming from that philosophy that exams really test what you're asked. So how quickly can you find out what you will be asked? And that's what we do to ensure that the training delivers the best outcomes.
Okay, so many people agree that there's no shortcut to studying.
Yes.
So I would like to know what makes Tuteriaprep, not just like any other tuition class. Like, what makes you different? What makes you stand out?
Yeah, great question. So is there a shortcut we are taking as well? There's truly no shortcut. The rigor that exam prep requires is what we've built into our platform. So we offer a couple things. One is when you sign on, we have daily live classes every day, Monday to Friday, in the subjects that you've enrolled for. And these are taught by some of the very best teachers in the country. You also have practice tests, which you do after every class. Then every week, there are also mock exams. These are incentivized. There are also prizes you get every week if you take the mocks. And then you have personalized reports. So as you take the quizzes and the practice tests, we start to show you the topics and the areas where you're struggling with the most. We found this to be very valuable to parents to know that not only does my child not know maths, what exactly in the maths does he not know? If he's going to take JAMB today, what is his score likely to be? Our platform can predict that based on your current knowledge, if you took JAMB now, this is the score you will get. So all of that ensures that it's not just like any tutoring platform. It's specially built for exam prep. Then there's the final, I guess, icing on the cake of scholarship. So we're offering up to 2 million naira plus a laptop for the candidate who scores the highest in the actual JAMB, and a few more prizes just to encourage competitiveness amongst the JAMB candidates.
All right, so you talked about mocks, and I know that parents will really want to listen up for this because every parent is concerned and worried about outcomes for their children when it comes to JAMB. So talk us through some of these things, the things that Tuteria boasts about: AI-powered diagnostics, mastery tracking, and the mocks, and then mentorship as well. Can you break these down to parents so they get a fine sense of how this add value? Yes.
Okay, so this is what it is. JAMB is coming up in March. Let's say your child is preparing from now. Of course, you want them to pass, and you don't want them to get 200 because the competition is getting tougher. More people are taking the exam, so the cutoff scores are higher. So you want them to get in the region of 300, 280 to 320. Therefore, you need to know exactly what does this child need to know now to make sure that by the time it's March or April, he's best positioned to get the best score. So what we've done is, because of our AI capabilities, when your child takes the first practice test, maybe take 1 or 2, it shows you exactly where he's weak, where he's strong. Not only in terms of subject, but also topics, and even lower than that, like learning outcomes. What does he not understand? And then as he takes the practice test, the platform adjusts to his own strength. It says, for instance, you are right now at 180. To go to 260, these are the things you need to do. So we don't just give you a platform to just prep on your own. It guides you all the way. Then you also have some of the very best teachers that are there to take classes every day, in addition to remedial classes. So students who we identify as struggling in one topic are put into a separate class where they take questions on that topic till they build their strength. So the combination of all of that is what we mean by AI platform that helps with exam prep.
Okay, so I know that you piloted this model earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I'd like to know the success stories you have so far. Was there an improvement, and by how much?
Yeah, we had a pilot that was very successful. The highest score we got from that cohort was 341. What's more interesting is when that candidate took the actual JAMB mock, 2 months earlier, he scored 240. He went through that process, and we saw his mock. So he did like 10 mocks.
Okay.
We saw his mock score rising
ranks, yeah.
every week.
Okay.
And then doing the prize, we had to give him like 1 million naira scholarship.
Like,
He mentioned that most of the questions he saw on the exam day were similar to the
what he's
questions in the
He's
mock.
answered.
Exactly. So we had the second person got 338,
Oh.
the third had 315, but 85% of the people who were in that cohort scored above 200, which is a reverse of the national statistic
coming
where
from
70
below.
got below. So we think that was really successful, and we want to take that again to help many more people.
so beyond the exam scores, how else do you measure success?
The exam score is the main thing because that's why they're here, but also the rigor they go through ensures that they build competence for university life. Because when you get to the university, a lot more discipline required to achieve, academic excellence.
Yeah.
Also, we track their knowledge, like how the mastery of specific topics and concepts. And then, of course, lastly is the competitiveness, because it makes them realize that you're not just good because you're good alone. You have to compete healthily to ensure that you keep getting better. So those are things that we measure in the course of the training.
So I'm happy you mentioned competition. So it's obvious that there's a huge competition going on here. So based off that, why should parents or students sign up for the 2026 session?
I think parents should sign up because we ensure we guarantee results. With the process we've built, the platform we've built, we ensure that the students go through the right amount of rigor required for exam success. Secondly, we ensure that they learn from the very best teachers. Some of these teachers are teachers that some students may not have had access to, but they've had up to 15 years training people for this exam and have had tremendous success. Then there's also the scholarship, which we're putting down up to 10 million naira to support academic excellence, because we believe that if you work hard, you should be rewarded. So I think for those reasons, parents should sign on to us. And it's affordable. 35K for 3 months is a steal, really. So I would say that's why they should sign on.
So now I'm thinking, how do you think that stakeholders in the educational sector, government, how do you think we can all collaborate and work together so that we can ensure educational equity?
So for what we are doing, we have an opportunity for people to partner with us, governments and anyone really, to support students who can't afford even at the price that we're offering. 35K is affordable, but there's still some people who can't afford that. So for educational equity, we need equal access to education for all. So if you are someone who wants to partner with us, we invite you to reach out to us. We actually created a platform called helpmepassjam.com, where you could go there to support 1 child, 2 kids, or 100 kids, so that they get this training for free, and then they're able to pass JAM come 2026.
Yeah, so we have many Nigerian parents watching the show right now, and I'm sure all of them want their children to succeed.
All of us.
All of us. So what final words would you tell them?
I would say that, yes, like you, I'm a parent as well, and I want my child to succeed. We have presented an avenue for them to excel, particularly in JAM. What I would say is reach out to us, tuteria.com/UTME, and enroll your child for JAM with Tuteria. We guarantee that they get 300 and above.
Okay. So what we're saying with Tuteria, we have said it's affordable.
Yes.
And then we can see that the success rate is quite great based on last year's outcome. So I think that this is very exciting for a lot of parents. You know, our viewers watch our show really, you know, to get information that can help them in various ways. And this is very important for those who are trying to prepare their children for JAMB, to know that they have one place where they can get all this information. This will be very helpful for a lot of parents. Thank you for joining us today.
You so much. Thank you.
And ladies, thank you for today's conversation. It wasn't an easy one, was it? You know? Because for me, I thought... Yeah, it was quite a slippery slope. You know, when we started the conversation, Amaka was saying something about, you know,
open and close.
Open and close. It wasn't so open and shut. It was, you know, a lot of things.
Angles.
Where perspectives.
You always feel that way at the beginning. Then by the time Amaka speaks, another person speaks, the conversation goes in.
Because I didn't expect. I have one story of a lady that had child was kidnapped, and I was one of those who paid money. They were looking for money to help pay ransom or something, and I was one of those. And she found the child without paying the ransom, but no money was returned to us, and I didn't ask, and I didn't know. And now
did anybody question?
Nobody asked for money back or anything. So I'm just wondering, you know, this conversation was very important. Thank you again, ladies. And to our viewers, thank you so much again for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed the show. I learned a lot of things, and from Tuteria, hope you now know where to go to help prepare your kids for exams that are upcoming. Join us tomorrow for another interesting show. Bye for now.
Bye.